Alright, hello everyone. So this is a lecture video for the asynchronous format today because of my flu symptoms. So let's go on. Alright, so we will cover the Recode, which is the best way and the first way to the data management, and I will let you know how to use the cross tabulation, which is also a very powerful but simple way, and I will let you have the lab session. So as I announced it before, you can check in the department office. So that's on the third floor. I remember there was SPSS 3141, but you can find it because on the same floor. Yeah, and I'm so sorry about I'll make the quick transition to the asynchronous format today because of my flu symptom. So I started to have the Tamiflu from yesterday, and the doctor advised to stay at home because it will be very contagious until I have no fever. So I think we will come back to the in-person format next Tuesday, but in case I cannot come back, I will let you know. Alright. So, the Recode is a one function on one menu you can use very well, and for your final paper or assignments, you can use it very efficiently because this is the first step of the data management because there are many ways of the data management, but this is a very simple way. For example, you may have the original variable, so you could see the labels from those variables, and sometimes these are very lengthy or very complex. But if you want to use, or if you want to make it simpler than the original variable, you can simply regroup the attributes. I mean, regroup the categories or regroup the values to make it the simpler variable. For example, so this is the very big table. So the income and the age, so technically it's not very correct way, but you can see that this is very hard to interpret. We can find some information or some association between income and age, but within this table, we are not sure. So there is some kind of the increasing or the positive association, which means as age goes up, the income may goes up like that, but we are not sure. We cannot find any relationship very quickly based on this complex table. So other than that, so we can make the very parsimonious or very simple table by regrouping the variable. So compared with the very large number of categories, you can simply divide it as 3 categories in the income, 3 categories in the age. So it's not still very perfect one, but at least you can find some more the intuitive information from this simple variable. Alright, so this is again the display names and alphabetically, and apply that. That will be always the primary and default function. You can do that. Alright, so the frequency table. As always, we can start checking the information from the frequency table or the utilities in the variable. So let's create the frequency table using the attend variable, which is the frequency of the attending the religious service in the United States. How many categories in the table, what numbers are assigned to the attributes in the categories. So I will let you know how to do it. So this is the GSS data in the Mac version, and you can go to the analyze, discrete statistics, frequencies. Yeah, sorry that the fonts are very small. Maybe this is because of Mac version. The frequencies, okay. So we can go to the attend. You can quickly attend, and okay. All right. So in this table, we can see that. So how often are attends religious service? Never, less than once a year, several times a year, once a month. So we can see that from never, which is the lowest frequency, and going to the highest frequency, more than once a week, like that. So we can check the valid percent and to see more details, but we cannot know which numbers are added or assigned to each attributes. So we can see, we can go here, go to the utilities and the variables, and we can find the attend variable. All right, so maybe we can make it larger. So never is 0 assigned to the 0, 1 is assigned to less than once a year, 2 is once a year, 3 is something and something. And the -1 and 9, and these are the missing values, so maybe we can ignore that. And the measurement is not nominal because it's categorical, but it's increasing from never to the more than once a week. So this is the ordinal variable, as you can see. All right, so this is a Windows version. All right, so the basic function, the underlying the system is the regrouping the attributes. So as you could see in the variable view, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 like that, these numbers are assigned for each category. So we can simply regroup. So the never in the original variable, that can be never because that's the very lowest value. So the 0 in the old variable will be 0 in the new variable. And less than a year, once a year, and several times a year, that will be maybe the attending the religious service very seldomly or rarely, or once a month, 2 or 3 times a month, about monthly, nearly every week, and more than once a week, that will be categorized as about weekly. So originally it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 categories, but we can regroup this variable into 4 categories by using the Recode menu. All right, so we can go. So this is a Windows version, but we can go to the so I'm showing the Mac version now. So you can go to the transform and recode into different variables. So this is very important because if you click recode into same variables, you are overriding onto your original variable. It means that you will lose your original variable. So you need to use recode into different variables. You can keep both of the original variable and the new variable you are creating. All right. So let me go here. All right. So here I can show here. All right, so we can type attend. You can find the attend variable here, and you can move it. So the alpha variable, the name of the new variable is, maybe you can say the CHATT. Maybe it could be. So you can use any name you want to use. So if you can recognize this variable as you created, so any name is fine. But let's say in the United States, maybe the churches are the majority of the religious institutions. So maybe you can like CHATT, the church attendance or something. And the label is the explanation. So you can simply add some explanation of the variable based on your idea or any information you want to add. But we can use that as recorded church attendance so that you can see later. After putting the information, you should, so please do not forget hitting the change button so that you can go proceed. And then after the change, and you can go old and new values. All right. So in original variable 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, these were categorized. So in the new scheme, so please make sure to see the scheme. The never in original variable will be never in the new variable. So in old variable, so this is the old one, in old variable, never was 0. And that will be 0 in the new variable. So you can put 0 and add. So now you can see that 0 is, put it as 0. So the next one, so near the less than once a year, several times a year, that will be the recategorized or recorded as number 1. So you can see that less than once a year, that's number 1, once a year is number 2, and 3 is number 3. And then these numbers will be regrouped as number 1 in your new variable. So if you have the range on like 1 through 3, you can use the range instead of the value, because if you want to use the value, you need to put each value, like putting 1 and 1 again and repeat it again. So instead of this process, you can make it a range. So 1 through 3. So that will be 1 through 3 in your original variable will be number 1 in your new variable. These labels will be added in the next process, so you can just go put the number. And then so this is not true. Sorry about that. So 4, 5. That's what's true. All right. So 4. This is correct, and this is not correct. Sorry, I'm so sorry about that. So about monthly will be once a month or 2 or 3 times per month. So nearly every week is about weekly. So sorry about that. So you can follow this one. 4 and 5 once a month, 2 to 3 times per month. There will be 4 to 5. That will be number 2 in our new variable. Okay, and then 6 through 8. 6 is nearly every week. 7 is every week. 8 is more than once a week. Then that will be number 3 in our new variable, right? So you can check that. 0 in original variable with 0. 1 through 3 is 1. 4 through 5 is 2. 6 through 8 is 3, like that. All right. So you can click continue. All right. And then you can click OK to find that. All right. That's very easy, right? So if we want to find the new variable, usually you can go to the bottom of the variable view. So you can simply go down. All right. So this is the new variable you created. But the last step you need to do is from the values column, you can go that. You can see that there is no label here. So if we want to see the full details of the new variable, you need to add the labels, the appropriate labels. All right. So so this is a little bit different. This is a Windows version, and this is the Mac version. But you can put the value number 1. Oh, no, sorry about that. Number 0, and that is never. Oh, never. Okay. And then number 1 is seldom. Seldomly. Seldomly would be better. Seldomly. And then I don't want to check the sense. I don't want to check the spelling. All right. And number 2 is about monthly. And then number 3 about weekly. All right. So you can click OK, and you can see that the label is added very correctly. All right. So you can come back. So if you want to see the variable. All right. So let's compare. So after creating the new variable, it's highly recommended to check both of the variables. So attend is the original variable, and CHATT is the new variable. So you can add that to generate 2 variables at once. And then, okay. Alrighty, so this is the Windows version, and this is the Mac version. So this is original variable, and this is the new variable. And as I showed in the lecture slide, so if you add up those 3 categories, that will be the seldomly here. So if you add up, this is the 29, and you can add up then to double check that was created very well, correctly. All right. So this is how to create the original variables, how to recode the variable from the categorical variable. So you can also record the range variable, the metric variable, which has the larger number of attributes. Create a frequency table using age variable, how many categories in table, how many groups could create in a simpler table. So again, analyze frequency table. Maybe you can reset. The age variable is here. All right. So we can see that so from 18 through 89 or older, but usually we can keep it. We can treat it as 89 or something because there are the small number of people. All right. So we can see that it's from 18 through 89, which is around around the 70 categories together. So we can make it the simpler one by using this criteria, right? 18 through 20 is number 1 in the new one, and the labels in under 21. 21 through 39, number 2 in the new variable. The label is 21 through 39, blah, blah, blah. And we can just simply do the very same process. Transform, record into different variable. So this is the previous one, so you can click reset. All right. Age variable, and then so the age variable is the age cat. So the new name is age cat, which means the age category. The label is the age category. Age category, and click change, and go to after clicking the change, you can go to the old and new values. All right. So this is the Windows version, right? So you can simply go there. So 18 through 20. So range is 18 through 20. And so not this one. The new value is number 1. Click. So you need to make sure to click add every time, right? So you can check it. And then, that's not this one. All right. 21 through here, I've seen this, 20 through 39 in the original variable. That will be number 2 in the new variable. 40 through 64, that will be 3, add, let's see, 65 through 89, that will be 4, add. So if you miss clicking add, it will not add the new category. So you need to always make sure to check it. 18 through 20, 21 through 39, 40 through 64, 65, 89. So you can see that these are mutually exclusive. And you can click continue and OK. So you can see that the age category is created. All right. So again, so for not the missing from the values column, not this one. Okay, values column. So it's a little bit different from the Windows version, right? So coming back. All right. So number 1 is under 21. Okay. Number 2 is 21 to 39. Number 3 is, double click, 40 to 64. Yeah, so I actually have another demonstration video based on the Windows version. So if you're using the Windows version, no worries. There is another one. All right. 4, 65, and order. All right. Okay. And then you can go to the descriptive statistics, and maybe you can remove that. The age category variable we created. Age cat. All right. Yeah. So create a new table. So let me show that. All right. So under 21, 21 through 39, 40 through 64, 65, and order and total. That will be created in this way. So after creating a new variable, you can always check the new variable by using the frequency table. Alright, so by using those new variables, we can use another one, the bivariate analysis, which means the using the two variables in one time. So this is what we say the cross-tabulation or cross-tab analysis. So in the frequency table, like the central tendency or the variability, we just use only one variable. But now we can use the two variables at once. You may remember that there is the independent variable and then there is the dependent variable. Independent variable is the cause of the relationship and the dependent variable is outcome of the relationship. So the crosstab is still not a perfect measure because we only showed very brief the association between those two variables, but still very, very useful. So IV stands for the independent variable. DV is the dependent variable. So again, we should have the causality that independent variable comes first and happened first, and then dependent variable caused and happened later. For example, this is the hypothesis that if respondent is young or younger, the respondent is more likely to have the shorter height than older one. If the respondent is woman, or R is more likely to have a higher GPA than male. If R has higher education, R is more likely to have the higher income like that. So these are some possible relationships. And in these relationships, you can see that hypothesis. If R is a woman, she is more religious than a woman. So in this relationship, or in this hypothesis, the woman, or being a woman, or gender is independent variable. And the religiosity, or the religious, or the level of religion or religiousness is the dependent variable. Because based on gender, there would be the differentials or the different outcome in the religiosity. So in IV is gender, DV is the religiosity. So you can use several variables as attend, the church attendance, as I showed as example, post life, and the pray. We can try to use attend. Alright, so these are about that. So analyze and descriptive statistics and the cross-tabulation. So you can simply put the dependent variables. This is very, very important. Independent variable is always on the column. Dependent variable is always on the row. So please make sure to remember and follow this regulation every time, whatever you do in this semester or wherever you go in the social science, because that is very, very important, the custom or important rule in social science. All right, so you can go, okay, analyze descriptive statistics, the crosstab. All right. Okay, so this is row and this column, and you can put the percentage. So why don't we use the sex, which was the independent variable, right? So independent variable should be in the column. So sex variable is on the column, and we can create multiple variable, multiple tables at once. So you can find attend variable and go to row because that's the dependent variable, and the pray. Okay, not this one, not the column, but to the row. The post life and their belief after death. All right, so, and then you can go to the option, the cells option, cells, and click, as you show here, click the column percentage, and continue, and click OK. All right, so, oh, no, that's this one. You can see that this is the very summarization of information. And then you can see that how often are attended religious service. So by male and female, you can see the percentages and how often are pray and believe after life death. So in my lecture slide, as I mentioned, that based on their gender, if you go down in this variable, it means that more frequent attendance of the religious service. About 46% of the women attend the religious service at least once a month, so you can compare that. About 35% of the men attend religious service at least once a month, which means the men are less likely to attend the religious service than women. So, well, you can argue that female tend to more frequently attend the religious service than male. And another variable, the prayer, women pray more often than men, but because you can compare 68% and the 46% than men. And the belief after the life, after the death is 86% and 74%. You can compare the percentages by the gender. Alright, so in summary, the cross tabulation is very, very powerful, although it's not very perfect, but this is in this simple way, you can use independent variable and dependent variable to show association between those two variables. So always make sure that put your independent variable in column, dependent variable in the row. That will be very, very important. Alright, so there is one in-class assignment and there is the demo video, or you can find it from the file I posted. So if you go to the in-class assignment menu and if you download the MS Word file, I already added a link based on the Windows version. So that's the old one, but you can also review this lecture video to see the instruction, and also you can use the demonstration video linked in the document to look through the procedure. All right. So in this relationship, they're getting older based on their age. They could be richer or not. We can find a very minor partial relationship or something. So if there is a partial relationship, it means that if one variable gets larger or gets higher, another variable gets higher or the bigger. Alright, so I will add more details in the next lecture. Alright, thank you very much for your attention, and you will see more demonstration videos attached to the linked file or assignments. Alright, thank you very much for your attention and see you next week.